What if there was a way you could get 10 things, 5 to do, 5 not to do, would unlock a fantastic season? Well, guess what? You can. In today's episode from Endurance Nation, I, Coach Patrick, am going to walk you through the top 5 do and do not do things for the wintertime as a triathlete. Now, most triathletes in the wintertime kind of go into mental hibernation, right? They're still training. You'll still see them at the pool and Speedo, shaved legs, messing around, talking on Strava, doing all the things, dreaming about warmer weather, maybe sharing pictures on Instagram or enjoying some old stories when things were nicer and we could be out in the sun. But there's actually a ton of good things and bad things that you can do in the winter to set yourself up for a season or perhaps ruin it. Now, what we want to do here today is to make sure that you're firmly on the do side of the things and you are so far away from the don't side. The reason why I boil it down this simply is that most athletes, most triathletes in particular, are sort of built to follow in the footsteps of others. So if you've got a great group of people around you, high quality athletes who've got a great deal of experience, you're in luck. You're going to have a great path forward, good footsteps to follow in, and you'll avoid most disasters and see more success. But that's not true everywhere, right? I'm not going to name any states or any cities or countries by name. Lord knows here in Rhode Island, we have our fair share of people who are a little suspect with their training and racing practices, myself included. But that doesn't mean you need to leave up to chance all the things you want to do. A large part of our mission inside Endurance Nation is to make sure that you are the smartest and fastest athlete you can be. And we believe those are inextricably linked. The smarter you are, the faster you're going to be. In other words, once you've made a mistake or once you realize that doing something is bad for you, it's really hard to keep doing it because you know that it's bad for you. Sure. Humans are, famous for doing things that are terrible, sometimes even killing them. I get it. When it comes to triathlon, when it comes to endurance sports, when it comes to racing bikes or racing on your feet across mountaintops, at the end of the day, we all want to do better. We are highly incentivized by the metrics of competition to do better. So today, I'm going to cover these top 5 things on the do side, top 5 things on the don't side first. So what should we do? Should we do the do's or the don'ts first? What do you think? I'm going to start with the don'ts. I love the don'ts. The don'ts are so much more fun. Plus, anyway, everyone's going to love them. So here we go. Number 1, don't. Please don't do tons of volume. So you just came off of a season, you did a ton of volume, and you're in the wintertime, you're like, I'm a triathlete, what do? I ride my bike for 2 hours, I run for 2 hours, I like to swim for an hour and a half. That's my life, that's my jam, that's my sweet spot. No, my friend, that is your in-season sweet spot. Out of season, we have to be very different than your in-season self. If you did the same work all the time, it's like lifting the same 5-pound dumbbell the same way every time you go to the gym, every single day. Eventually, your body will adapt. You're not going to see the results that you want. You're not getting any better. Plus, let's not forget that you're the creepy person who uses that 5-pound dumbbell all the time, and everybody else wants to use it too. Why don't you put that dumbbell back, bro? What's wrong with you? So seriously, the volume doesn't help. You can use it intermittently, once a month. You want to do something big, or you're outside, you want to do something adventurous, totally fine. But like day after day, week after week, if your January looks like your July, if your February looks like your August, you, my friend, are going to be in trouble. It'll work for a little while, don't get me wrong, but long term, you will not reap the rewards you want or the rewards you deserve. So use your volume strategically. Turn it down, my friends, turn it down. Number 2, on the don't side, don't go hard outside. It's really tempting. You're fit. You want to have some fun. The weather's finally kind of nice. You want to get after it. But here's what happens when you go hard outside. Number 1, particularly if you live in a state with snow, which is a lot of the country, except for some of the parts that are literally on fire. Hearts go out to our friends on the West Coast there. It's slippery. It's icy. It's dangerous, right? No need to go running at full speed. No need to go biking at full speed when there's salt on the ground or blind turns or low daylight. Like, please don't do that to yourself. If you have to shovel the track so you can run on the track, then either you have something wrong with you or you just love suffering. I have no idea what it is. If it counts as your weight session, maybe, but otherwise, don't do it. Instead, be really, really smart. If you want to go hard indoors. Get a trainer, get a treadmill, do something like that, right? But don't do it outside. Not just to mention the cold weather side as well. It takes you a while to warm up. Cold weather on your lungs can be a real damager. And ultimately, people just don't feel as good. So if you save it for the weekend and it's a beautiful midday and you want to get out there and do things, you feel good and safe, go for it. But otherwise, please don't tell me you're getting up at 4:30 to do mile repeats in the dark when it's snowy and icy outside. Not worth it, my friends. Totally not worth it. Number 3, on the don't side is don't skimp on sleep. Sleep is so important. And bears, as we all know, like to hibernate in the winter. And it's not simply because it's too damn cold to be outside. And quite frankly, I definitely identify with those animals right now. But I will say that overall, sleeping more in the winter is actually really critical. Daylight hours get short. It's natural for you to fall into a rhythm where you have an opportunity for more sleep. It's a chance for you to recharge your batteries and actually see what a fully rested you looks like, which is actually pretty much like impossible to beat. You're stronger, smarter, faster, happier, all the good things because you're just getting more sleep. Right. So don't take supplements or, meditate or whatever to get these gains. Just get more sleep. Just go to bed earlier. So don't skimp on sleep. It's tempting to really sort of stay up late or maybe extra alcohol. Like who knows what the holiday is, something like that. It's going to set you back. So definitely time box your week and make sure you have good times during the week. Usually I go Sunday to Thursday. I get great sleep. Saturday, Sunday, like Friday, Saturday, maybe not so much. Maybe a little too much fun in there for me. But 5 days a week, if you can get good sleep, you're in a really good spot. So do not skimp on sleep. Number 4, don't ignore your workout nutrition. Now, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. Coaching athletes through the winter, I'll often get complaints about people unable to hit their threshold zones in week 5 or running out of energy or the weekends are just too hard. When you break it on down, you ask them all the things that they're doing. They'll tell you everything about the trainer, tire pressure, resistance setting, temperature of the garage, the workout they were in, the gear they were in, the heart rate, their core body temperature, what their kicker said, what their aura said, what their whoop said, all that stuff. But what they won't tell you is what they eat. And the majority of winter athletes, when they go inside, don't eat or drink. I literally have a shelf dedicated, kind of like these shelves here, next to my trainer that has like waffles in it and Cliff Blocks and gels, and I can put my drink bottles on there too. So much food. You are working out, my friends. You are a machine. And when our machine works, it needs fuel. I'm not saying that you can't intermittently fast or whatever goals you have for yourself, but what I am saying is that our body learns to operate on nutrition, and you're going to want it to be able to do that when it comes time to race day. So if you spend half of your year ignoring nutrition and just drinking water or not eating or drinking at all, not only are you doing less work than you're capable of doing here when you are properly fueled, but you're also then going to have to go out and learn how to fuel your body in those remaining 6 months, which, by the way, are the most important 6 months of your year. Don't do it. Just have nutrition. I'm not saying go nuts, but have a bottle of sports drink. Have a gel. It's okay. It's not going to kill you, and you actually have better workouts. You'll be blown away at how much better the workouts get. All right. And then last but not least, please, 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 my friends, for the 5th one here, please don't just be a triathlete. Triathletes are awesome. Everyone says triathletes are great, but triathletes can be boring. If you're always swimming, always biking, always running, you have no variety in your training. You're not having as much fun as you could be having. So in the wintertime, break out of that mold. If you have snow, get out on the white stuff. You can snowshoe, you can cross-country ski, you can skate ski, you can actually ski, you can snowboard, whatever it is you want to do. Don't have snow, you can hike. You can get outside and take part in other activities. I have no idea. You can row. I don't know what you could do in your town. Maybe you join the elliptical club. You join a spin club. Do something different. Do body pump. I have no idea. But get out and do stuff different. Challenge your body. Challenge your schedule. There's plenty of time to be swim, bike, and run and totally get your tri geek on or your bike geek on in season. But we, again, need that variety in our year to be mentally and physically healthier. The change in stimulus actually creates opportunities for us to evolve. And if we fight that, if we use artificial means like indoor trainers or lights or whatever it is to force our way into doing what it is we want to do and always do the same things, we're not going to get better at them, right? Failures in life are just a series of compounding effects. And if you make bad choices and those choices are long enough, they'll compound to a place where you're just not going to see the results you want. You can't have a great August if you had a super subpar baseline, very similar January through April. It's just not going to work. You're just not going to see the results that you want to have. So if you want to do new things, you want to, in terms of breaking through performances and doing better on race day, then do new things now. Mix it up at least 1 day a week, if not 2. Get out there. You're going to be surprised at not only how much fun it is, how challenged you are to do something. You'd be like, I'm a triathlete, I'll be fine. But maybe you can make a few new friends, have some more fun. All right. Okay. Now time. Halfway through to the do side. What are all the things that we want to do when we're thinking about what it means to be successful as a triathlete? Well, there's lots of different things we can do, but I'll break it down for you into 5 simple points. In no order here on the do side, you choose the ones that you want. I'll take them through in the order that I think is most important, but you choose the ones that you want to follow and then put them in your plan. Just like we were eliminating before, now we are adding things into your routine. Number 1, and I got to pull it up here. Number 1, body composition. Nobody wants to talk about body composition right now. I, least of all, want to talk about body composition. But body composition focusing in the winter is the most important thing you can do. First of all, it's really easy to do. I mean, granted, yes, there's food everywhere in the wintertime. However, it's very easy to box in your schedule because our training load is lower. when we start doing 5-hour weeks to 10-hour weeks to 15-hour weeks to even a 20-hour week or whatever it is you get up to, your body is just burning through calories like a laser. You're going to need all the stuff you can get your hands on. And it's really hard to constrain your calories and be deliberate about what it is you're putting inside your mouth, right? You need to have some of that willpower to be like, nope, I'm not going here. I'm going to walk past this very tempting item. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get a handful of nuts. I'm going to get an apple with some peanut butter. I'm going to drink some water, right? But in season, you're just like anything that comes at you, you're just like a wood chipper, like give it to me. I want to eat it. I'm going to burn calories and go through it like that, right? So we have to make good decisions now so that when we get in season, not only are we lean and mean, but then we can just focus on working out and eating the calories we need to work out and not worry about restriction or trying to change anything else. So as hard as it sounds, go ahead and think right now. What are you going to look like in your tri-kit on race day, whenever that is? And then make decisions accordingly to do that. All right. Maybe that goes under the don't column, but you know what I mean. All right. Next up, another do item you want to do is strength. Strength training is so underrated in the winter. Most athletes will say, I need to do strength. So what do triathletes do? I do strength every day. I went out and bought myself something I put on the wall, and I do strength every single day with my strength. I strength. That's awesome. Like, knock yourself out. If you're a super strength person, I'm super proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. Maybe give yourself a little bicep flex in the mirror. But the reality is, for the majority of endurance athletes, simply being stronger is a material competitive advantage. Remember, we're really good at swimming, biking, and running. But the parts that connect our arms and legs to our torso, not so much. Strength does that work for us. It helps us develop balance. It helps us develop injury resilience. It helps us develop core competency in moving under load, whether that's strain or something else. And when we think about what that means for you as an athlete, it means that you actually get to bike faster, run faster, swim faster, longer when you have that functional strength in. And the best part is you only have to do a couple weeks of it, which is perfect for the winter, which only lasts a couple weeks. In the out season for Endurance Nation, we have 14 weeks. We give people a strength program. It could be with bands. It could be with free weights. It could be at the gym, or you could follow your own program. 14 weeks, twice a week, massive differences across your entire year. Plus, it gives you the routine and habit of strength and training when you need to keep doing it as you get older. Not that any of us are getting older. All right. Next up, please do plan your races. Now's the time to do it. Last minute races are fun. Overnight dares at the bar, friends, shaming you into jumping into a half marathon. All of that will happen anyway because we're just, easily manipulated as triathletes. However, the best seasons actually have key events in them that we can structure. A large part of my work right now here in the wintertime inside Endurance Nation is actually stacking different races and training plans in an order to create conditions for athletes to be successful. Now, most people will sort of just throw a race in because the heck of it or because they finally get permission. Those races can work, particularly if you have a great winter and you're deliberate with your approach to your year. But without those races as anchors or as mileposts or as beacons, depending on your personality and where you're at, you're really going to be in a tough spot when it comes to being successful because you're going to be distracted by other things happening. You won't be peaking at time. You won't be doing the right race rehearsal workouts and so on. It's very tempting to think that just jumping into races will make a better year. It'll certainly make it more interesting. If you want to have a good year with good results, you may need to think a little earlier about planning. So even if you can't fully sign up for that race, maybe just put a placeholder in it or make a note or come back to it in 30 days. But we have to get you to start committing because the races give alignment to the rest of your year. Number 4, let's get the games on, my friends. It's time to gamify some stuff. Whether you use Zwift with the levels or Strava with the kudos and the tracking, I don't care what app you use or where you are, your sleep score, calories burned, MyFitnessPal, whatever it is, gamification is the way to go. We know that humans are easily manipulated with games. Just look at any teenager with a cell phone. And we can use that as a tool to make sure that we are gamifying the most important behaviors. So instead of like getting a drinking app game, we get a running app game, right? Instead of getting like how do I win a hot dog eating contest game, I get how do I improve my sleep score game? Right now, games are games, and sometimes you have to remember that if you're playing the game to an end, like if you're trying to get better at sleep or better at running or better at strength or better at run consistency, whatever those things are, then play the game that allows you to get to the end you want. Don't let the game determine the end. You determine the end and then find the game to fit it. Now, you can, of course, create challenges with your friends, have dares, bets, whatever it is you want. Those work with varying success depending on your personality and the type of friends you hang out with. Some of our friends are maybe not the best people to bet on certain things. They are a little wacky. So don't make a bet you're going to regret later. But do take advantage of gamification and the apps that exist out there to make sure that you're aligning your activities with the desired outcomes and goals that you want. It doesn't have to be crazy complicated to get it right. It just has to keep you on track and then give you social rewards for doing the work you're trying to do. All right. Last but not least, do. And the last big do, and this is the one I love to do on my own as well, although sometimes I'm not beloved for it, it's time to do some gear upgrades in the winter. Odds are in season, even when you needed to change your cleats or your bike saddle or your running shoes or your swim cap or your goggles, you didn't want to do it because you didn't want to disrupt the mojo and the flow that you were in right now. Like, I can't change my shoes. I got to race in 2 weeks. I can't fix my bike seat. Like, the new one will never come here in time. And so it ends up staying on your bike for the race season. And then you kind of put the bike away and the shoes away and don't think about it. And next thing you know, you come out next year and you're like, I got my race in 2 weeks. And it's the same old thing from last year. You've got a list somewhere. And if you don't sit down for a minute, close your eyes, think back to last year, and think about those times when your equipment was kind of not really on your side. I'm not saying failing, because failure gets replaced. It's the things that are subtly chipping away at you that aren't great. Did your feet hurt a lot last year when you were running in the end of the year? Probably need new shoes, right? Was your back bothering you a bit? That bike seat change maybe wasn't really it, right? Maybe it felt good at the time, but it wasn't really it. Those are the things we want to think about, right? Do you need new frame? Do you need new bar tape? Do you need a new heart rate monitor? Do you need a new bike computer? Do you need new shoes, new laces, new cleats? I have no idea. New chamois pads, new bike shorts, all the things. Whatever it is you think you need, make a list and go out and prioritize the top 2 or 3. And if you've got the capital, go out there and get those new items. You'll be glad you did. And you'll make an investment now so that when gear time comes, outdoor time comes, fun time comes, you'll be ready to jump into it because you'll have already made the decision. There's nothing worse than being ready to get outside for the first ride of the year and being like, ooh, I got a flat tire. I'm just going to pump it up. Oh, it's totally flat. I'll just use a tube. Ooh, I forgot to replace the tube last time. I think I have some on my shelf. Oh my God, I totally used the last one. The last time I replaced it, I've got nothing on my shelf. I cannot ride today. I now need to drive to the bike shop to buy tubes for myself. That is the worst day ever. And guess what? For most of us, it happens every single year. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl this year. Do it differently. Think ahead, plan ahead. Do it right. Be smart. Update that gear, and you'll be happy you did. My name's Coach Patrick, and this has been another episode from Endurance Nation, talking to you about the 5 do's and the 5 don'ts in the other way around to make sure that you have a fantastic year this season. Being successful as an endurance athlete isn't just about working hard. It isn't just about genetics. It isn't just about the person you're chasing or the person who's chasing you. It's about being smart and making good decisions. And inside Endurance Nation, we do a fantastic job of helping people get smarter so they can become faster. If you want to learn more, head over to endurancenation.us, where you can check out all of our free resources, download them for yourself, and start getting smarter right away. If you think it's interesting, you'll find a button somewhere in there to apply, and we'd love to see that come across my desk. I can let you into the team, and we'll see if we're a good fit. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Coach Patrick signing off. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, be safe out there, be smart, and no mile repeats in the ice in the dark. You heard it from